Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to begin building out this full stack travel blog website with Next.js, Tailwind, and TypeScript. In this video, we're going to be building out the front end, and next video, we're going to add a back end to it like authentication, MongoDB database, and Prisma. So here's the home page where you can look through all of our top posts and our latest posts. Click on show more and it shows more. I'm going to head over to posts. Here's all of our posts, and we also got top posts here as well. And then our about page is here. And we also got a contact page. And next video, we'll be adding email.js to this form. We got an interactive map down here. And then if we click on a blog, here's our actual blog post. And here you can share to Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. So let's go ahead and get started on this project. All right, so inside of the terminal, we're gonna type npx create next app at latest, and it's gonna ask a few questions. We're gonna be using TypeScript in this project. ESLint, no. Tailwind, yes. Source directory, no. And app router, yes. Import alias, this is optional. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. In my past experience, it's kind of buggy, but I am gonna be using it in this project. And we're gonna do an @ symbol. All right, and give this a second to load, and we're gonna install 2 more packages, and I believe those are the only packages we need. We're gonna do import npm install. We're gonna do react icons, so react-icons, and also clsx. So like I said in the beginning, we're going to do the front end this video, and then next video we're going to do a back end. So let's go ahead and clean up everything that we can clean up just to make it cleaner, because there's going to be a lot of files and a lot of folders. So let's delete this favicon, and inside of the global, let's delete all of this extra style in here. And layout, we're going to come back to that in a second. For our page, let's go ahead and select all, delete, and I'm just going to export just a div for now, and I'm going to change this to home. That, delete that. Okay, and moving down, we can delete these 2 SVGs inside of our public folder. Let me delete that. All right, nice. All right, cool. So we're all cleaned up. So let's go ahead to our layout, and let's go ahead and configure this a little bit. But before we do that, let's go ahead and npm. Let's go npm run dev. Okay, nice. So we got page. All right. So inside of our layout, we're gonna change the font. So let's go ahead and change this to Roboto. And I don't know if I'm zoomed in a little bit too much, but all right, and that's going to come from next-font-google, and down here we just got to change this to Roboto, and then change this to Roboto, and it's going to be different subsets, so that could be Latin, and then we're going to add a comma here after that array, and it's going to be weight, if I can spell it right, weight, and we're going to import weight 100, 400, 700, and 900. I don't even think we use all of these, to be honest, but all right, so 100, 400, and 900. And okay, so we're getting an error because down here we gotta change this to Roboto. Yeah. All right, and now our font should be Roboto. For our metadata, we can change this up to our name. We're gonna do explore X, that, and then for the description, we do like travel blog. That. You probably want to be more descriptive than that, but for now, we can just put travel blog. All right, cool, and I believe that should be it for now. Actually, since we're here, let's go ahead and just change up this the body. Just add a class name to it. So let me zoom out just some. Hopefully that's not too small. So for the class name, we gotta wrap this inside backticks. You can highlight it and then do backticks, and then we're also gonna wrap it inside of a bracket like that, and then we're gonna put a $sign in front of it. So now we can add some extra styling into this. We're just gonna add an overflow hidden, or overflow X hidden, and we're also gonna add a BG of pound FFF CF2. Okay, and now our color gonna change to like this little orange cream look. All right, cool. So that's it for that. That's it for our layout. So let's head over down to the Tailwind config because we gotta import our colors. So head over down to there. All right, and we can remove this background image here. Make sure you still keep the extend because we're gonna extend our colors now. All right, and I'm just gonna copy and paste this from over here and paste it in here. All right, so our primary is gonna be this color there. Secondary is gonna be that. Our territory, I can't say that word, is gonna be that, and then our light is going to be that color, which we just did inside of our layout. So now we could come here and then just change this to light, like that, and it should be the same color. Nice. All right, cool. I think that is it for that. So inside of our app, we're gonna make 2 folders. So one is going to be parentheses, going to be root, like that. And then we're gonna make another folder, and it's going to be auth. So we're not gonna touch this yet until we hit the back end. So, but for now, that's gonna be our authentication, and this is gonna be our root with all our main, basically our website. So we can actually just change this to site if we want. Let's actually do that. Let's do site like that. All right. So in here, this is where our layout's gonna go, our global CSS and our page. So let's go ahead and copy all of these, and we're gonna drag them inside this site folder. All right, so next we're gonna create a folder inside of our root. We're gonna do a folder called constants. All right, and inside of this constants folder, we're gonna have 2 files. We call index.ts, and then also a blog data.ts. So for now, until we add our database, we're gonna be fetching data from this file. And then once we add our database, this is when we're gonna be fetching data from our MongoDB database. So here, you can either head down to the description and download the file for this, or you can head over to my GitHub and just copy over this file from the repository. So I'm going to paste that in here, and it's 10 blog posts. So let's go over it right quick. So we got an ID, we got a title, image path. We also got to download our images. Paragraph, which is some lorem. We got featured latest posts. We got some tags and our author image, which I'm fetching from Unsplash. And we got our author name and publish date. And I believe I got it the same thing for all 10 of them. Only difference is some of them are featured and some of them are top post and latest post. So yeah, just copy over this code and yeah. So inside of our index.ts, this is where our link's gonna go. So it's gonna be, so that way we can map through our links with in our footer and inside of our sidebar, and inside of our Navbar as well. So yeah, download this as well, or you can head over to my GitHub and copy over this. All right, so that's that. So now I think it's time to start our Navbar. So let's go ahead and create a folder inside of our root, and it's going to be called components. All right, and inside of this components, we're actually going to create 2 folders. One is going to be called UI, and the next one is going to be called shared. All right, so inside of our shared, I'm going to create our Navbar component, navbar.tsx. Let's go ahead and export it. And let's go ahead and import it inside of our layout, just so that way we can see our changes. Let's go to import Navbar. Make some space there. And over top of our children, I'm going to put Navbar. Alright. But once we save it, we should see Navbar there. Alright, so before we start on Navbar, I want to create 2 UI components first, because we're going to be using these UI components throughout our project. So and we're going to be using them inside of our Navbar, so we might as well go ahead and knock out 2 of them now. So inside of the UI, I'm going to create one. It's going to be called route.tsx. Alright, so it's going to take a few imports. I'm going to import link, and it's going to come from Next, and we're also going to import CLSX. Okay, and let's go ahead and export this. Remove this import from React. So it's going to take a few props. Going to take in a route. It's going to take in a label. It's going to take in isActive, which is a boolean. And we're going to take in an onClick. As well, we're going to get some errors because we didn't define these props yet. We're going to define the types for them. So it's just TypeScript. We'll fix them in a second. So inside of this return, we're just going to return a link. And it's in between here. It's going to be our label. I'm going to save that. We're going to get some errors. Alright, so we're going to do an href. Let me just make some space here to make it look better. Alright. Like that. Alright, cool. So inside of this href is going to be our route. And then inside of, we're going to do an onClick. It's going to be our onClick. And then our class name. So the reason why we install CLSX is because it's for like dynamic class names. I believe that's what it's for. That's what I use it for. There's probably some other stuff you can use it for. So normally what we'll do is do brackets. We'll do backticks. Do that, $, then do brackets, then we'll do like isActive equals true, and then that's where we'll put our class name there. But here all you have to do is just everything is like separated by a comma, which I really like. So you can do CLSX and then do parentheses, and here you just write your statement. So if it's active, and next we're just gonna do text primary. And we're going to do rounded of none, a BG transparent, and we also going to do I believe that should be it for now. So yeah, now like if we wanted to add more classes or dynamic class names to this, all we have to do is just add a comma here, and then we can add if it's not as active like that, and then you do and then you can add more classes there. So I like it, especially for long class names. So let's go ahead and define our types for our props. We're going to do interface, and do route props. And here we're going to do our route is going to be a string. Our label is going to be a string, and it's active is going to be a boolean, and then our onClick is going to be a function. So we're going to do void like that. And now down here, we just gotta add it here. So we're gonna do that and then do route props. Nice. All right, so that is our route UI component. All right, so now I'm actually going to create another one, and it's going to be called button.tsx. All right, in here, we're just going to export a button, but it's going to be take certain stylings. Let's do RAFE. All right, and it's going to take in some props as well. It's going to take in text. It's going to take in an on click. It's going to take in ARIA as well. Adding some accessibility to this. Let's go ahead and define our the types for our props. Let's do interface, button props, and the text is going to be a string. On click is going to be void or a function, and then our ARIA is going to be a string like that. Okay, just going to add it down here. Button props. Get rid of those errors. All right, cool. So now we're just going to return a button. And then inside this button, it's going to be our text. All right. So let's go ahead and do our class name. Our class name is going to be BG primary, a PY of 1, PX of 4, a rounded LG, and then we're going to do a hover of BG primary /80. That's just like changing the opacity. We also add a little transition, duration 500, like that. And we also going to add 2 more stylings. We're going to do inline block and then text white. Okay. All right, cool. Now we just got to add our on click and our ARIA label. So right underneath this class name, I'm gonna add on click equals on click, and then ARIA label equals ARIA. Like that. Nice. So now we have our 2 UI components. So now we can head over to our Navbar and start this thing. So first thing we got to do is make this a use client component. Client, because we're going to be importing use state and use effect. So let's go to import. I'm going to import link from Next.js. We're also going to import our button that we just made from our UI. Let's go to import our route as well from our UI component, and we also import nav links. And that's coming from our constants folder. And let's go ahead and import use effect, and use state from React. All right, cool. We can also import CLSX. We'll be using it in this component as well. Go ahead and import that. All right, nice. So let's go ahead and write some JSX so we can see some stuff on the screen. But before I do that, let's go ahead and start my server. Run dev. Give that a second to load. I had to take a sip of coffee. Just gonna refresh this. All right, nice. All right. Oh, okay. So we gotta import it inside of our. Oh, we already did it. Okay. So I wonder why. Oh, that makes sense. We don't have anything inside of our return. We just deleted it. All right. So now let's go to write some JSX. I have a nav and class name for this for now is just going to be a PY of 4 and a width of 4, like that. All right, so we shouldn't see anything. All right, and then we're gonna have another div inside of here, and it's gonna have a class name of width 95%, a MX of auto, and do a max width of 1450 pixels. All right, and we do a flex, item center, justify between, and a padding bottom of 5. And I believe we should see something now. Let's see. Oh, actually we shouldn't. We don't have any content in there. But once we add this border, we're gonna add a border bottom, and we're gonna do a border of gray 100, like that. Let's see if we see it now. Refresh. There we go. So you can see it just a little bit there. All right. So that's that. And then inside of this div, we're gonna have another div with a class name of flex1. And this is where our logo is gonna go. So we're gonna do a link. And the Next.js link tag, gotta take in an href. Href is just going to be our index. It's gonna lead back to home. Inside of this link, we have an h1, and it's gonna say explore X, like that. The h1 class name, we're gonna do a text of 3XL, a font of extra bold, and then a text secondary. That. Take a look at this. Nice. Let me zoom out some. I think I'm zoomed in a little bit too much. All right. Okay. So now we got to change the color of our X. So let's actually wrap this inside of a span. So I'm gonna do a span. Let's just delete it, and then underneath this explore, I have a span. It's gonna have an X like that. And then we're going, because we want to change the color of that, we're gonna do a class name of just text primary, like that. All right. Nice. What if I add like a space right there? Will it? Okay. Let me check something right quick. So our Roboto, I just want to make sure our class name, our font, does this look like Roboto? Maybe it is. I just want to make sure. Roboto class name. All right, yeah, looks right. Head back over to our nav, and so right underneath this div here, so this is our flex1 div. Right underneath here, we're gonna have a UL, and this is gonna have a class name of flex, item center, a justify center, a gap of 16, a flex of 2, and then max MD, we want it to be hidden. All right. Inside here, this is where we're gonna map through our map through our nav links. So we're gonna do brackets, we're gonna do nav links dot map, I'm gonna do link. I'm also gonna take in the index. Right. And for now, we're just gonna return JSX, but we're gonna come back and switch this here in a second. So we're just gonna return some JSX, so we can just do parentheses, and we're gonna do li. Right. And then our li, our key is going to be our index. And then inside of our this is where we're gonna have our route. Our route component. So it's getting the error because it take in props. So we're gonna do a route. It's going to be our link dot route, and then our label is going to be our link dot label. And then we're not going to do the isActive yet because we haven't made our isActive hook yet, our useMenuActive hook, my little custom hook that I created like a few projects ago. I use it in all my projects now. So we haven't created that yet. So for now, to get rid of these errors, let's head back over to the route, and we're just going to make isActive optional. So we're just going to add a question mark there, and then for the on click, we're going to add a question mark as well. So that should get rid of those errors, and we should see our links. There we go, we got our links there. So that's it for now for that. Let's head underneath this UL. We're gonna have a div, and it's gonna have a class name of flex, a gap of 5, a text white. I don't think we need to add the text white. We're gonna have a flex 1, a justify in, and we're gonna do a max MD of hidden. All right, so in here we have our button component. All right, so we're actually gonna have 2 button components. So just go and copy that and then paste it. We're going to errors because they take in props. So the first one, we have our text, and it's going to be called login. Log in, like that. And then we gotta have our on click. For now, our on click, it's just gonna return null. So we're just gonna do null like that. Alright, because we didn't, like I said, we're not adding the back into this yet. So for now, these buttons aren't going to do anything. I have an aria, and it's gonna be called log in button, like that. Alright, that's that. And I probably should have just copied this, and then we're going to paste it here. So this one is going to be called sign up. Sign up. And same thing, same on click, and it's going to be, instead of a login button for the aria, it's going to be sign up, like that. Alright, so there we go. And once we hover, it's a nice little the opacity changes a little bit. So that's our Navbar for now. Let's go ahead and inspect and make sure everything, so it breaks at the good time. I probably gotta fix that. See, it's breaking a little bit too late right there. You see, I don't like that. So we're gonna fix that before we finish this project. But for now, let's go ahead and create our useMenuActive hook, because we need that. Actually, let's not do that yet because we didn't create our other pages or nothing yet. So for now, let's actually create our mobile menu. I think we should do that. So inside of our shared, name another component. It's gonna be called mobile menu. .tsx. Let's go ahead and export it. All right, and since we export it, let's go ahead and import it inside of our Navbar. Import mobile menu. All right, so down here, right underneath this div here, so right underneath this justify in, we're gonna have another div, and this is where our mobile menu is gonna go. Mobile menu, like that. All right, there we go. And it should still be there even though we resized the page. There we go. That's where our mobile menu is going to go. So let's go ahead over to our mobile menu and start styling this up. All right, components. I'm going to open it up on my other monitor. All right, cool. We're going to import a few things. Import useState. And we're also going to import useEffect as well. All right, and we're going to import a few React icons. Go ahead and just copy this over, paste it in here, like that. All right, so we're importing CG menu grid, CG close, This is coming from React icon /cg. We also import in Twitter, FA square X Twitter, FA square Instagram, and FA square Snapchat. And this is coming from React icons. And last but not least, we're going to be importing another React icon, and it's going to be FA Facebook square, and that's coming from React icon /FA. All right, so make sure you guys import all of those icons, and then we're going to import our button from our UI button component folder. We're going to import nav links. All right, and we're going to import link from Next. We're also going to import our route as well from our UI route folder. All right, cool. And that's it for now. Let's go ahead and write some JSX. All right, so we want to use fragments. So here we're gonna have a div, and just gonna have a class name of MD hidden. All right, so now we shouldn't see it. So let's go ahead and inspect this right quick, and just so we can see it. So yeah, it should be there. We don't have any content in it yet, so that's why we don't see anything. So MD hidden, and then inside here, so that's it for now. Let's go ahead and write some state and stuff before we do anything. So let's do a const open mobile menu, and then we're gonna do a set open mobile menu, and then this is just going, the default is just going to be false. Okay. Now let's do our function to toggle this. So we're gonna do mobile menu handler, be arrow function. All right, so in here we're just gonna do our set open mobile menu, and it's just going to toggle our open mobile menu like that. Really simple. So now we can add an on click to this div here. On click, and it's just going to be our mobile menu handler like that. And inside of this div, this is where we're going to have our React icons. So we're going to do brackets, and we're going to be, so if it's open mobile menu, we want it to show our CG close icon like that. But else we want it to show our CG grid, menu grid like that. Let's take a look at this. So that we see it. Once we click, it goes to the X. Once we click again, it goes to the grid. Nice. All right, so let's go ahead and add some style into this. We can actually probably add it on top of this div, or we could just do each one. Let's do a size 25 like that, and just copy this and just paste it here like that. Make it a little bit bigger. Once we click X, nice. So it's toggling between open false true false true. That's all. All right, cool. So now we need, underneath this div here, we need to render our mobile, like our sidebar that pops out. So once we click it, we want a sidebar that pops out. So here we're just gonna do open mobile menu. So if it's true, that's where we're gonna render out a div, not a disconnect. Don't know what that is. Render out a div, and this div is going to have a on click of we're gonna set open mobile menu to false once we click it, and then this is also going to have a class name of fixed with the full height of screen, top of 0, left 0, and BG black 25. And we also going to give it a Z index of 50. All right, I'm going to save that and see how this looks. We're getting an error. Oh, we forgot the else. For now, we can just do else null like that, just so we can see our changes. So once we click, see how the screen gets dark. Then once we click this, it closes. That's what we want. Nice. All right. So inside of this div, we're gonna have another div, and this is going to have a class name of absolute. I'm gonna get rid of this from my other monitor. This is going to have a class name of absolute, a height of screen, left of 0, top 0, a width of 60, BG of white, a Z index of 999, so it's gonna be right on top, a PX of 5, a border right, our overflow Y of hidden, flex col, and then a gap of 10. Right, I believe that is sure. All right, cool. Let's go and save that and see if any. So there we go. We got our sidebar that pops up. So the problem is, once we click on the sidebar, you see the menu closes. So we don't want that. We want just clicking on outside of our sidebar, but that's when we want the menu to close. So to fix that, it's so easy to do. You just want to add an on click on this div here. We're gonna add an on click, and we're gonna take in an event. We're just gonna return e dot stop propagation. Make sure you do parentheses. Once we add that, once we click and then click anywhere inside of this div, it doesn't close. But once we click outside of the div, it closes. So that's the good thing about that. But now inside of this div, I'm gonna have another div, and this is gonna have a class name of border bottom and a PY of 5. Right? And then here we're gonna have our link. And this is just going to be our logo, our href. It's going to equal back to home. And what we can do, just to save some time, is head over to our Navbar and just copy over this h1 in here. Probably should have made this a reusable component now that I think about it, because I believe we use this in our side of our footer as well. I don't know why I'm getting an error here. H1. Oh, we forgot to close the H1. H1 like that. All right, nice. We'll take a quick look. Open. So now we see Explore X there. And so right underneath this div here, with the border bottom, make sure. We're gonna have another div, and it's gonna have a class name of flex and a gap of 5. We have a text of secondary, a flex of 1, a justify center, and a text XL, and also a margin top of 5. Alright, and this is where all of our icons are gonna go. Our social icons, we're gonna do FA Facebook Square. We're gonna do FA Square Instagram, FA Square X Twitter, and then FA Snapchat. Square FA Square Snapchat. I believe it's just 4. Quick look. Alright, there we go. Nice. Alright, so right underneath all of these divs, That's where we're gonna have our menu link. So we'll do a UL, and this is going to have a class name. Wait, I wonder why I'm getting an error here on div. Oh, okay. Hold on. I believe I went down too far. So this div, oh no. Alright, I see what I did here. So right inside of this div, still inside here, we're gonna have our UL, and it's gonna have a class name of flex, item center, justify center, gap of 10, flex col, margin top 5, a flex of 1, a py of 5, and a border bottom. Like that. Let's make sure this is working. We should see a border bottom. Let's see. I don't see it. Alright. Let's just map through our nav links. Nav links. That map. Do a link. I'm also going to do an index. For now, we're just going to return some JSX. We're going to do parentheses. But like I said, we're going to come back to this once we do our useMenuActive hook. So return a li, and the key is going to be index. Right, and inside of this li, we're gonna have our route. Right, so our route is going to equal to our link.route. Label is going to equal to our link.label. And then our on click, I'm gonna set it to set open mobile menu to false. All right, so once we click on the links, we want the mobile menu to close. All right, so a few changes we got to make. As you can see, I believe our mobile menu is like, once we open, it's like on the outside here. It's probably like right behind here. So to fix that, what we're going to do is right underneath this link tag. Well, actually, first what we can do is we're going to remove this closing div. So this closing div is basically the div that we have this on click on, and we're going to actually close it all the way down here underneath our UL. Right. So now we should see our links now, but we also want to add these links inside of this div here, this border bottom div. So what we're going to do here is right underneath this link tag, we're going to remove this closing div, and we're actually going to wrap it like that. All right, so that's perfect. And I'm actually going to add another div here. And we're gonna that, and we're gonna have it closing down here like that. I don't even think that even did anything, so let's actually remove that div. All right, perfect. All right, so we got flex, item center, we got justify center, border bottom. All right, nice. So what we need to do now is right underneath this UL, we're going to have our buttons. So right underneath this UL, have a div, and this is going to have a class name of flex, a gap of 5, a text of white. We don't even need the text of white because we got our UI button component now. So we're going to do flex of 1, and a flex of Kyle, and then a py of 5. So once we add that, our button should, our link should move up. And now let's add our buttons. So we're gonna do a button. Just add one for now, and then we'll just copy it. And then our text is going to be login. Actually, we could just head over to the Navbar, you know, the lazy route, and just copy these 2 buttons there and paste them in here. Now we should see our buttons there. Nice. And our links, they're not centered, so let's see what the problem is. So we got justify center, items. Oh, we forgot the S on this. That's why. Now, there we go. Perfect. So that is our sidebar. So now I say we go ahead and do our useMenuActive hook. So let's go ahead and create a folder inside of our root. It's going to be called hooks. And here we're going to do a useMenuActive .tsx. Alright, it's going to export it. Alright, and now I'm going to make 2 imports. Import useRouter, and make sure you don't do useRouter from NextRouter. We're going to do next-navigation, and then we're also going to be using usePathName like that. All right, and it's going to take in a route. And for now, just to get rid of that error, I'm going to do any like that. It's probably not the best practice to do like that, but we'll fix that later. We're gonna do a const router. It's going to use router, and then we're gonna do a const path name. Const path name, and that's going to equal use path name like that. All right. Now we're gonna just return. Actually, underneath here, we're just gonna do a const is active, and that's just going to equal our path name that includes. So it's going to include our route and route.length is greater than 1. Or our path name. I don't know why it's not auto completing. Path name is triple equal to our route like that. All right, and now we just want to return is active like that. All right, so that is our useMenuActive hook. Once you do it in this project, you can actually use this hook in other projects. I've been using it for about 3-4 projects now. I just basically just once you click on a menu link, it makes that menu link active, and you can have certain styling. So in this case, we're gonna have our links highlight orange whenever we're on that page. That's all it really is. Nothing too big. I don't know why that's weird. All right, yeah, we're gonna have to fix that too. Bunch of things. This big project. All right, so inside of our navbar now, we're going to import that useMenuActive. useMenuActive, and as you can see, we haven't used useEffect or useState yet. So that's because we haven't set any state, and we're gonna do that here in a second. So, but first, let's do this MenuActive hook. So inside of our map, we want to actually change this to brackets now. So instead of it return in parentheses like that, do brackets. So we gotta put a bracket down here Make sure you do that. And now it's going to be an error because we got to do a return. We're going to do a cons is active, and that's going to equal our useMenuActive, and it's going to take in our link route. Like that. And then right underneath here is where we're going to have our return statement. So we're going to return, and this there we put parentheses, and then we just wrap this in parentheses like that. Oh, I think I put it in the wrong spot. Oh, remove that and do parentheses. There we go. All right. So we can actually test this out right quick. Let's head over to our route. So we already got our is active. So if it's active, our text is going to be primary. We can remove this rounded none, and we can also actually remove this BG transparent. Let's just keep it text primary. And we can actually test this out by making a folder inside of our site, and it's going to be called about. All right. And then inside here, we're gonna have a page .tsx, and then we could just export it like that. Okay. All right, and let's go ahead and close. I got a bunch of stuff open. Let's just go ahead and close out of everything. And let's test this out. So once we click, okay, so it's not working. Refresh. All right, so the about page is working. That's good. Let's head back over to our Navbar. Let's see why this isn't working. Oh, that's why. We forgot to send over the is active. So is active is going to be is active. There we go. So now, as you can see, our home is now active because we're on home. Once we click about, now our about page is active. Nice. So that works there. Just go ahead and copy this. Just gonna copy this here. We actually want to add it to our mobile menu as well. Let's go ahead and import it here. useMenuActive. And then down here, instead of parentheses, we want to do brackets. Okay. And then paste that there. Cons is active. And we need to do our return. And right underneath our li, this is where our closing parenthesis is going to go. Now we got to send over our is active. Like that. Now let's check, inspect, open, and now our home. And once we click on this, our about, our mobile menu should close, and then we're on the about page. Nice. Perfect. All right, so that is that. Now I say we actually, there's a few more things we have to do. So inside of our navbar, as you can see, we haven't used use effect, we haven't used use state, or we haven't used CLSX. So we want to make our navbar sticky to the top whenever we start scrolling. So whenever we scroll, it's going to be sticky. So or fixed. We're gonna actually make it fixed. Sorry. So to do this, we're gonna do a cons is scrolling, and we do set is scrolling, and the default is just going to be false. That. All right, and we're gonna do a use effect. All right. And in here, we're gonna do a cons handle scroll. That's going to return. All right, so we're gonna do an if else statement. So we're gonna do if our window dot scroll y is greater than 0, that's when we just want to set is scrolling to true, right? And then else, we just want it to set is scrolling to false. You can play around with this number. 0 is the best one in my opinion for this one, but I believe for our portfolio site that we did, I think I had this to like 300. So it's like whenever you get to like a certain point, that's when it shows up. But having it on 0, like the second you start scrolling, that's when this styling is gonna take effect. So I think 0 is the best for this project. So we're gonna say scrolling to false, and down here we go window, add event listener, add scroll. And we also gonna add our handle scroll function, that we just made. So this if else, and now we also have to do return. And now we gotta do a window dot remove event listener, and do scroll, and then do our handle scroll function like that. All right, and for the dependency array, it's gonna be empty like that. So we shouldn't see anything, so we don't even have content on our page. So we're not gonna even be able to see this work right now. But once we add our hero section and more content, we'll be able to see this work. So what we'll do is we won't add the styling yet, so we're not going to use this CLSX yet, but still keep it imported for now, because whenever we add content to our page, that's when we're going to add the styling, just so you guys can see it work. So now I say we go ahead and start our footer. So let's go ahead and do our footer. Do footer .tsx and export it. And we're actually going to go ahead and import it inside of our layout, just so we can see it work. I mean, see it all the changes that we make. So inside of layout, we're going to import it here. Footer. And then right underneath here, footer, like that. Right, and now we see our footer. Nice. All right, so inside of our footer, it's going to be a use client. Use client, and we're going to import a few React icons. I believe it's the same ones that we use inside of our mobile menu. So let's hit over there and let's just copy these social icons there. Head over to our footer and paste it. We actually could have made a reusable component for these as well, instead of having to, I mean, either way, I believe we still have to import it. I'm not sure. So now we're going to also import our useMenuActive, and we're going to import our nav links, and also our routes from our UI. Oh, not that, routes. All right, let's go ahead and write some JSX. Get rid of this parentheses. All right, so we have a div. And it's gonna have a class name of with full py of 5, bg of I can't say this word, territory. I can't say that word. I just know that's a word. Margin top 10. And I'm just gonna say, so for the rest of this project, every time we use this color, I'm just gonna say BGT. Okay. So don't clown me for not knowing how to pronounce that word. We're gonna have a class name of width 95%, a mx of auto, and then a max width of 1450 pixels. Right. Okay, so inside of this div, we're gonna have another div, and this is going to have a class name of py5, border bottom, border grade 300, a border opacity of 20, flex, justify between, item center, and on max MD, we want it to be flex cal, and on max MD, gotta scroll over. We want it to be have a gap of 8. Okay. Nice. So I'm gonna save it and take a quick look. Nice. That's our footer. So inside here, we're gonna have a div, and it's gonna have a class name of flex1. And same thing, let's head back over to our mobile menu and copy over our logo. We used this 3 times now. I think it's safe to say we could have made this a reusable component. Inside of this, we're gonna have our logo there. Href is going to be that, and that's going to import link. Import link. Take a quick look. Alright, so instead of our text to be that color, we actually want it to be the other way around. So we're going to do our text is going to be light. So instead of text secondary, we're going to do text light, like that. Alright, I just noticed something. I put explore. Oh my god, that is hilarious. So explore, sorry. How am I getting an error? Let's fix all of these. Explore, and then Navbar explore, like that. Alright, cool. Alright, so underneath this div here, we got our link, h1. So underneath this flex1 div there, so we're gonna have our UL, and this is going to have a class name of flex, item center, a justify center, a gap of 16, flex of 1, text of white, and on max MD, we want it to be flex cal, and on max MD, we want the gap to be 5. Right, and same thing, we're just going to map through all of our links. Let's head over to our mobile menu, and we can just copy this whole entire map, and head back over to our footer, and in between this UL, we're gonna paste it. Right, we don't need this on click. Let's remove that. Let's save. Fix this up a little bit. Take a look, and there we go. We're on our about page. Click home. Now we're on the home page. All right, so right underneath this UL, we have a div, class name of flex, gap of 5, text of white, flex of 1, justify of n, and then a text 2l. All right. And here we're gonna have all of our icons. So we just import it, paste that there. We should see them here. Nice. And down here, have a div, class name of with full, text of center, margin top of 3, text of small, and then a text white. Alright, and here we're gonna have like this span that says all rights reserved, and then you just have explore, explorexplorex.com. Right. Nice. Perfect. So that is our footer. We're done our footer. We're gonna get a 404. Sorry, I forgot we only made the about page. The home, about, everything is working. As you can see, our useMenuActive hook is working good. Nice. Now I say we go ahead and start our hero section. I believe it's time for that. Let's go ahead and do that. All right. So before we start our hero, if you guys can download all of the project images, the link will be in the description, or you can head over to my GitHub and click on ExploreX repository and just download the assets folder. So you just want to make a folder inside of your public, name assets, and these are just some blog images that we'll be using. There's a few other images in here as well. Let me take a look. So we got our about page image that we're going to be using. So yeah, just make sure you guys download that. And there's 2 more UI components that we're going to make before we start the hero section. So head over to the UI folder and create a file, and it's going to be called tag.tsx. All right. I'm going to export that, and I'm zoomed in a little bit more. Hopefully this isn't too I didn't zoom in too much. And here we're just going to take in a few props. Actually, I'm just taking one prop. It's going to be called text. And we're going to make our tag props interface up top here. We're going to do interface tag props. And it's just going to be a text. It's going to be a string, but it's going to be an array because inside of our data, we have this, the text is inside of an array, our tag. So we got to make sure we add that array there. And all it's going to return is a fragment, and it's going to return a span with a class name of uppercase, BG of primary, a py of 1, ex of 3, a text of white, inline block, a rounded md, a text of small, self center, and a my of 2. So we're making this because this is going to be our tags for our website. That way we don't got to keep, because we use the tags in a bunch of components, so we don't have to keep writing this style every single time. We can either do it this way, or we could have just made this styling reusable by putting this out of our global CSS and then adding like @apply, something like that, and then just making like our own little style for it. So we could have did it that way as well, but I would rather do it this way. And then in here it's going to be our text like that. All right, and I believe that is it for that. There's one more we're going to make, and it's going to be called overlay .tsx. And in this one, this is basically just going to be like a little overlay for our little blog cards. Let me find it on my other monitor. And it's just going to, it's not going to take in anything. Only thing is just going to return a div. It's going to have a class name of bg black /10, a width of full, height of full, position absolute, top of 0, a z index of 1, and hover with the bg to be white /10, and want the duration to be 500, and we also want cursor pointer. All right, that's all that's going to return. So now inside of our share, we're going to make a file. It's going to be called hero.tsx. All right, and we want our hero to be on side of our home page, so we got to make sure we import it there. Right, there we go. Import our hero from our components, and we're just going to return a fragment like that, and then just our hero component for now. We're gonna have some more stuff in here in a second. I mean, after we fix our hero section. I gotta start my server. npm run dev. Alright, just gonna refresh. While that's loading, let's head back over to our hero component. And this is gonna be a pretty long component, but we should get through it pretty fast. Alright, so now we see hero there. Nice. Alright, so here, inside of our hero component, we're going to import our blog data. Alright, from our constants, I'm going to import our tag. From our UI, we're going to import our overlay. And then we're also going to import link from Next.js. Alright, cool. So now, let's go ahead and just get all of our filters and stuff out the way. So we're gonna do a cons featured post. And that's going to equal blog data dot filter. So just a little simple filter. And in here, we're just gonna return, forgot to put this in parentheses, sorry. We're gonna do blog, and then we're gonna take in the blog and we're gonna return our blog featured, and it has to equal to true. Right? So with this, whenever you use filter, I believe it creates a new array. So now we can actually do an array method from this featured post, if that makes sense. So so now we can do a cons top featured, and now we can do featured post dot, and now once we add the dot, we get access to all of these array methods. And then we're going to do dot slice, and we're just going to slice it 0, 1, like that. That's our top feature. So we just basically just grabbing one post, and that's going to be our big post at the top. And now we want to have our bottom feature. We're going to do a cons bottom feature, and this is also going to equal feature post dot slice. And now we're going to grab 1 through 4 like that. That's just grabbing 3 posts from our blog data with featured equals true. All right, so let's go ahead and write some JSX. We have a section, and this is going to have a class name of relative. And inside this section, we'll have a div, and it's going to have a class name of width 95% and an mx of auto and a max width of 1450 pixels. Okay, and we also gonna have a z index of 1. And inside this div, this is where we're gonna map through our top feature, because this slice, so our feature returned an array, and I believe the when you use slice, it also returns an array. So we're just going to map through that through that one featured post, because we're just grabbing one with this slice here. So it's inside of an array, so we got to do top featured, and do dot map, and we do post, and we also can grab the index, or you can do the ID if you want. So let's do ID. I think it'll be better. ID, and we'll return a JSX, so make sure you do parentheses. And then in here, we're going to return an article. That. All right. And this article is going to have a key, and the key is going to be ID. And this article is going to have a class name of flex cow, a gap of 5, MB margin bottom of 5, text center, and also position relative, like that. All right, so in between this article, we're gonna have our tag UI component that we made. Tag, did we import it? Let's see. Yep, we imported it. So tag, and it's taking a prop. The only prop that it takes is a text. So our text is gonna be post dot. So once you do a dot, you should have access to all of the stuff inside of our blog data. So we're gonna do post.tags. And we can actually save this and take a quick look. Make sure my server started. Yep. Take a look. Make sure we're on home. Do a quick refresh, and there we go. We got our tag there. And so underneath this tag, I have a h2, and this h2 is going to have a class name of text 6XL, a font of extra bold, uppercase, and a text T. Remember what I said, guys? The tertiary. I can't say that fucking word for nothing. All right, and then in here we're gonna do a post dot title. Take a quick look. Nice. All right, and then under this h2 we're gonna have a div, and it's kind of a class name of flex item center, a gap of 3, a font of light, a text T. Right, and a justify center. All right, and in between this div, we're going to have another div, and this is going to have a class name of width 10, height 10, rounded full, and a BG of black. All right, and this is just basically a just an image, little placeholder for our image. But actually, we could just do this inside here. We'll come back and fix that. Actually, for now, let's just keep it like that. But this is basically for our author image. I just put a little placeholder there for now, but we could just fetch it, but that's fine like that, I guess. And then underneath here, this div, we're gonna have a span, and it's going to be post dot author name, like that, underneath that span. And then underneath this one, we're gonna have another span, but this one's gonna have a class name of italic, and inside this one's gonna be our publish date. So we're gonna do post dot publish date. Do a quick look. There we go. All right, so now we need our image. So underneath this div here, where we're gonna have our image, but first, let's see. Yeah, let's just put it. Let's do a div, and we'll have a class name of relative, a max height of 600 pixels, a overflow hidden, and a shadow of XL. Right, and inside of this div is where we're going to render out our image tag. But I'm actually not going to use Next.js image tag for this one. It was causing me some issues, so I'm just going to use the regular image tag. And source is going to be our post dot image path, like that. And then our alt can just be what we can do is actually do brackets, backticks, $, and then we'll just do image image. Let me see how we're gonna do this, because I don't have this in my code. But we're gonna do image for we could just do post.title like that. Like just for like accessibility, I think that would be good. I'm getting an error for some reason. Can't find image. Side JSA. Oh, that's weird. Let's have a class name of object cover, a width of full, and a height of full. And let's take a quick look. And now we got our image. Nice. All right. And now we can add our overlay. So the overlay UI component that we made. So underneath this image, all we got to do is just add overlay. And now we should, once I save it, should, as you can see, we hover over it. Got that nice little transition. Nice. All right, and underneath this, now we can render out our other section, our bottom three. So right underneath that article, we have a div, and this is going to have a class name of grid cows 3, a gap of 8, a max LG is going to be grid cow 1. Okay, and then in here, this is where we're going to map through our bottom feature. So we're going to do bottom feature dot map, and we're going to do post. We're also going to grab the ID as well. I'm going to return some JSX. In here, we're going to return a div with the class name of relative, overflow hidden, a height of 72, a shadow XL, and a width of full. All right. I just noticed something. Oh, okay. Our sticky header, our sticky nav not working because I forgot to put the styles. So we're gonna go do that after we finish our this hero section. All right, so our div. So inside of this div, this is where we're gonna render out our image. And again, I'm just gonna use the regular image, HTML image tag for this one. All right, and the source is going to be our post image path, and then our alt is going to be the same thing. We just do, let's grab it up here, image for blog.title, grab that. Right, and then our class name is going to be object cover, width full, and height full. Let's give that a save and go take a look. Now we got our 3 images there. All right, and we can also add our overlay underneath this. Save that. And we get our overlay once we hover. Nice. All right. And underneath this div here, we're gonna have a tag, and this is just going to, we're gonna send over the props, and it's going to be our post tags. That I'm getting an error for some reason. Let's see what the issue is. Okay, I see the issue. So for now, let's just wrap the top div in a fragment. So right underneath, let's see, we could probably just wrap the whole thing in fragments right quick, but we're gonna get rid of this. Just wrap all of this. So right underneath this tag for the fragment, just so all of this can work out. Whoa, now we're getting an error for some reason. All right, let's see what I did wrong here. So div. Oh, okay. We forgot the article tag. So inside of this, okay. So here, so for this fragment, we're actually gonna make this a article tag. So let's do article. And I'm gonna do a class name of flex, flex call, a gap of 3, item center, text center, and also position relative. Take a quick look, and nice, now it's working. All right, we got our tag, and then right underneath this tag, we're gonna have an h3, and it's gonna have a class name of text XL, a font of extra bold, uppercase, and then a text T. All right, and then in here, we also gonna do a PX of 5. All right, and we're gonna have in here, this is where our post.title is gonna go. Post.title. All right, let's take a quick look. There we go. We got our titles. Let's add a 1 here right quick. I just want to see something. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're not gonna, I think we're just gonna do text LG, or maybe not. Did I get a little 1XL? 1XL. Alright. Yeah, let's keep it like that. 1XL. I don't think this is a thing though. It's not working right. Text XL. Let's text XL. So what is text medium maybe? Medium. Alright, text medium. There we go. I think that's the default, to be honest. Let's just remove this and see what happens. Yep, let's just remove that. We're gonna keep it text medium. Alright, and after this H3, we're gonna have a span. And it's gonna have a class name of font light and italic, like that. Right, and in here, this is where our post.publish date is gonna go. Alright, quick look, nice. Alright, perfect. Okay, something's up. I don't think this is the right thing. Let's switch this. Let's do it, because on my code in my GitHub, I got text 1XL. And it seems like, okay, maybe not. Alright, yeah, I guess we can keep it like this. Alright, cool. Sorry, we're gonna keep it, just remove this. There we go. Alright, let's keep it like that. Actually, let's try text small. I'm really picky when it comes to like making stuff look okay. Alright, text small. I think that looks better. Text small. Yeah. Let's see how it looks on mobile. Right quick. See how we're looking. Okay. That looks good. Okay. Nice. Things open. Alright, perfect. Alright, so right underneath here. Yeah, I think we're done with that. So now what we're gonna do is add dynamic routing to these posts here. And to do that, all we have to do is we're gonna add a link tag around our image or around our post. So let's see where I'm gonna put it at on this first one. So I want it to be on my image. So right underneath this div here is where we're gonna have it. So right underneath publish date and author name. So this div on this is the first one. I have a link. All right. And we're gonna wrap our image and overlay up with this right underneath, so right on top of the article, is this div. All right. And we're getting an error because it needs an href. Right. So the href, I'm gonna do 2 brackets like that, make some space, do path name, and that's going to equal backticks blog slash $sign brackets post.id. All right, so we didn't make this route yet. I'm gonna make it here in a second. And then a query is going to be, we're gonna do a spread operator, post. All right. So that's really it. That's how you do dynamic routes. So I think, let's see what happens once we click on this. Once we click, as you can see, we're getting a 404 because we didn't make this route yet. So let's actually make this right quick. So inside of the site, we're gonna make another folder, and I believe we just have to do, let's do blog slash, and then do brackets, and then do ID like that. I believe that's all we have to do. And then in here, we're gonna do a page, page.tsx, ts. All right, let's go to export the page. All right, and I believe we have to take in a prop, but I just want to make sure. So the prop has to be search params. Search params. Like that. All right. And then in here, what we can do, we can just change that just so we don't have to do search params.title, search params.publish date. So what we can do is just do a cons post, and that's just going to equal search params. All right, so let's just give this a try. We're not going to style up this page yet. We're just gonna make sure it's working. We're gonna do post.title like that. And now let's see if this works. Click on this. And there we go, we got our title there. Perfect, so it's working correctly. All right, and just to get rid of that error, just because I don't want to see this error, we could go ahead and do an interface right quick. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're gonna do interface, search params, search param types. And it's basically everything inside of our blog data. So we're gonna have an ID, and that's going to equal a string. Actually, I'm just gonna copy this because there's a bunch of stuff. All right, let's paste it here. All right, so we're gonna have an ID, a string, title string, image path string, paragraph string, featured and top posts are gonna be booleans, and then the rest of them just gonna be string tags, author image, author name, publish date. And then down here, just to get rid of that error, I'm just gonna equal that to our search params types like that. And we are getting an error, does not exist on type. Oh, okay. So what we have to do is actually do something like this. So we're gonna do, let's get rid of this. So you can't just do it that way, you gotta do brackets. We're gonna do that first, and new brackets, and we're gonna do search params. And then we're gonna do search param types like that. And that should get rid of that error. All right, nice. So we're gonna come back and fix up this page a little bit later. For now, let's go back to our hero section and add dynamic routes to our bottom post here. So what we gotta do is just copy this, copy that link, and scroll on down right underneath this article here. I'll paste that there, and the closing tag is going to go underneath our overlay, the div underneath our overlay, so right there. Save that. Now once we click these, all right, so I've been wrapping my head around this for like a little bit now, and I even like compared the finished site to what we got now. And as you can see, like these boxes are supposed to be width full, like these, like it's supposed to like fill up the whole entire area, because we got gap 8 and this is way more than a gap 8. So like, and it's not even lined up on the sides there. So I don't know if it's because right now in this project we're using Next.js 14, but the original project that I created is actually Next.js 13. Because while I was building this, Next.js 14 was just released, so that's why I think they must have made some changes to their link tag or something, because to fix this we got to put class name with full, right? And now we're back to normal, and that's what we want there. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out the finished site. So yeah, just put a class name with full there on the link. I don't think we have to do it for our top one, but for our bottom 3, just make sure you put a with full. All right, so now I say we go ahead and work on our finish up our Navbar, make it sticky to the top. So let's head over to our components, shared, and Navbar. And now we already got the logic for it up here. We got our use effect, and now I just say we just gotta render out some styling. So if it's scrolling, we want these certain styles to show. So to do that, on our nav, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of all of these. We do brackets, and we do CLSX, do parentheses. So the original, by default, we always want it to be padding top and bottom of 4, and we want it to be width full as well. We're gonna do a comma, and now we want to do if it's scrolling. So if it is scrolling, we want the styles to be fixed, top of 0, BG of white, a shadow LG, and a Z index of 10. And then we also need our else. So we're gonna do else, and I'm gonna put this thing there. So then else, we just want it to be position relative, like that. All right, take a quick look. As you can see, post is there. Nice. All right, cool. So now, as you can see, we got this border bottom here, and we don't want that there. It just doesn't look right. So to fix that, what we're going to do is down here where we got the border bottom, we're actually going to, what I like doing is this, make some space there like that, do brackets, CLSX, parentheses, and now we're just going to copy over all of these here. Copy all of this and paste in here. That. Now we gotta do. There we go. And we do a comma. And if it's scrolling, we do and. We want the padding bottom to be 0. And we also want the border to be none. Like that. Alright. Let's see. Oh, forgot to give that auto completes, auto format, give it a time to load. Alright, let's take a look. Oh, wait, it's loading. There we go. Nice. There we go. Scroll. Perfect. Alright, and let me just go over it one more time, make sure we're good. So we got border bottom, perfect. So I believe our nav is complete. I don't think we should have to go in here until we add our authentication and all of that stuff. So let's go ahead and close out of this. And we can close out of our hero for now, because that's also complete. So now I say we go ahead and do our top posts and latest posts. Well, actually, before we do that, inside of our components, we're going to create our blog card component, so that way we can use it throughout our application. So let me just make sure. So inside of our components, inside of our shared, I'm gonna make a new component, and new component, sorry. And this was going to be called blog card. All right, blog card.tsx. All right, let's go ahead and export it. All right. All right, and now let's make our card. So first we're gonna import image from Next. We're gonna also have a React icon. It's gonna be AI outline arrow right. And paste that in there. And this is going to be from React icons/AI, right? And then we're gonna import our tag from our UI. We're gonna import our overlay. Import our overlay. And then we're also going to import link from Next.js. All right. So that's that. And this is going to take some props. So we're going to take in our post. And we're also going to take in index as well. Ooh. All right. So now let's write some JSX. It's going to be an article, and it's going to have a class name of relative, around it, of LG, overflow hidden, and then inside this article, we're going to have a div. It's going to have a class name of width 1000 pixels, height of 450 pixels, and position relative. All right, and that's where we're going to render our image tag from Next.js this time. And do source. It's going to be our post dot image path. And we're going to do fill as well. And then our alt can be the same thing as our, so let's head over to the hero. And where's the, wait, oh, I just put blog. I thought I switched it. Oh, okay, I forgot that I was debugging that freaking code and we switched it. So yeah, let's please not be lazy here. So I'm gonna do brackets, backticks, and I'm gonna do image for, and then we're gonna do $, and then post.title, like that. All right, let's copy this, and I'm gonna come up here and paste it somewhere else. I know we had it somewhere else. Image, there we go. All right, and then inside of our blog, we're gonna paste it here as well for the alt. All right, perfect. And this is, we're just gonna have a class name of object cover, like that. All right, and we're also gonna add our overlay. See the power of reusable components, you know, like we're gonna use this overlay a lot, and you know, just save some time. We could just put overlay instead of writing, you know, all the class names and stuff. That's why I love React. All right, so right underneath this div, we're gonna have another div. We have a class name of absolute, width of full, height of full, top of 0, pattern of 5, flex call, and a justify between. And in here, I have a div. Won't have any classes, class name. I have a tag, our tag component. And we got to send over the text, which is going to be post.tags. All right. And then we also going to have a h3 with a class name of text 3xl, font of extra bold, uppercase, and a text white. All right. And it's going to be our post.title. That. All right, and I think this is good for now. We're gonna come back to this. Let's just go ahead and create like our latest post and our top post. Let's do latest post first. So let's go ahead and do that. So in our shared, we're gonna create another file. It's gonna be called latest post.tsx. All right, and we're gonna make this a use client because we gotta import use state. All right, and we're also gonna import our blog data. And then we're gonna import our blog card that we just made, and we're also gonna import a button as well. All right. So let's see how we're gonna do this. So we just want to grab all of the blog posts with latest posts true. So if we head over to the blog data, you can see some of them says, so that's top posts, that's top posts, top posts, latest post. There we go. The latest post is true, so we're going to grab all the ones that says true. So same thing, we could just do a filter, the dot filter method. Let's head back over to our latest post, and so we're going to do a const latest post, and that's going to equal blog data dot filter. Right. And it's going to take in a blog, and it's going to return our blog dot latest post equals true. Basically, it's creating a whole array of all the ones that are true. So now we can actually do something with that array. And in this case, we're not going to do anything, but in the hero section, as you can see, we use the slice method to just take one post and then take 3 posts at the bottom here. But in this case, we're not going to do anything with that array. We're just going to map through it. But I do want to have a button here. Actually, let's finish this and then we'll add the button, just so I can explain it a little bit better. So let's do a section. It's gonna have a class name of call span 2. Okay, and you guys are probably wondering, why am I putting call span 2 here when there's no grid at the top? So inside of our let's go ahead and create our latest post right quick. I'm at our top post, and inside of our share, I'm gonna do top post .tsx, and let's just export it for now. All right. So inside of our page, inside of our site page, this is where we're gonna import those 2 pages. Let me just go over to it. App. All right. Let's go ahead and import those. Import latest posts, and then we're also going to import top posts. Yeah. All right. So here we're gonna have a div, and it's gonna have a class name of grid, and then on large screen it's going to be grid col3. All right. By default, it's going to be grid col 1. And on large screens, we're going to have a gap of 10. Width is going to be 95%. MX Auto. Max width is going to be 1450 pixels. I see myself using this a lot in this project. I probably should have made like a helper class or something. Overflow Y hidden. A H of fit. And a margin top of 10. Right? And in here, we're just going to render our latest posts. And also our top posts. Like that. I'll save that and let's take a quick look. So as you can see, we got our top post on this side and we got our latest post over here, but we don't have any content in it, so that's why it's not showing anything. Let's head over back to our latest post. So we got call span 2, and now we're going to have I'm also going to do actually we don't even need that. I was going to add like an aria labeled by, because I was trying to practice with some accessibility in this project, but actually let's go ahead and do it. Aria, I'm going to do labeled by, and it's going to be latest posts. All right, like that. All right, cool. So inside of this section, I have a div. It's going to have a class name of with full and a text center. And then we have a h2, and it's going to have an ID of latest posts. So self-explanatory. So as you can see, it's aria labeled by latest posts, so it's getting labeled by this h2, this section. All right, so whatever this h2 says, that's what this section is going to be labeled by. And I have a class name of text center, a text 2XL, a font of extra bold, uppercase, a text T, inline block, a PX of 2, and a margin bottom of 10. Right? And okay, perfect. Here's H2 to latest posts. Let's take a quick look. Perfect. So we got latest post there. All right, so underneath this div here, that's where we're going to render out through our latest post array that we made up there. So let's make a div. So I have a class name of flex call, gap of 10, and an h of full, like that. All right, so it's going to map through it. So we're going to do latest post dot map. Actually, okay, yeah, I was going to do dot map first. Map and do post. Let's do we can do ID, and we're going to return some JSX, so parentheses, and we're going to return a blog card. All right, so we just made our blog card and we have some props that we got to send over. So we're gonna do post. We're gonna send it over our post, and then we can also send it over index as well. We're gonna do index, or actually no, let's not send it over index. I don't know why I did that inside the props. Let's do key ID here, like that. All right, and let's take a quick look. Index is missing just because I didn't mean to add index there. We just want to send it over the post. Head back over to latest post, and we should get rid of that error. Let's take a quick look. Nice. Now it's rendering out all of our stuff there. So I want to add a button here to where if we have more than let's say we have 20 latest posts, we don't want all 20 to be rendered out on the page, so we want to store it inside of some state. And then whenever we click a button, the show more button, we want it to be rendered on a page. So to do that, up here underneath this latest post, we're gonna do a const visible. We can just do visible blogs and do set visible blogs. Visible blogs. And it's gonna be use state. And you can set this to any number. I'm just gonna do 5. So this is basically what's gonna be shown as soon as the page is rendered. It's just gonna show 5. You can do 3 if you want. You can do 2. I think 5 is a good number to start off with. Then we do a const show more blogs, and it's going to equal arrow function. And all we have to do here is going to do set visible blogs. And all we're going to do is do prev visible blogs. Basically just taking in that number. And then we're going to do prev visible blogs plus whatever you want. So you can do, if you want to, once you click on a button, if you want 3 more to render, you can do the number 3. If you want 2 more to render, you can do the number 2. So this is basically just taking in this number here, this 5 for previous blog, and just add in 3 to it. Really simple. So that's that. So now down here, what we can do is underneath this here, this is where we can have visible blogs. So if visible blogs is less than our latest post dot length, and so we can do like basically this is basically short circuiting there. We can do a div class name flex justify center that, and then we want to render our button component, and we want the on click to be show more blogs. We want the text to be show more like that, and we want the aria to be show more blog post. All right, take a quick look. There we go. And once we click, now we got that extra one there. So let's count. So we got 1. Let's refresh first, because I got some duplicate data here, so I just want to make sure. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, did I count it right? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. That's weird. 3. Let's change the number to this to 4. Oh, okay. I think I know why. So, okay, that makes sense. Let's change this back to 5. Change this back to 5. And then down here, where we're mapping through our latest post, we actually want to do the slice method here as well. So I'm going to do latest post dot slice, right? And do parentheses, and we're going to start at 0. And then instead of putting a number here, we're going to go by our visible blogs, which is 5. So we're just grabbing the first 5, and then we're going to do a dot map on that. And then once we click, now it should only render out 5. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We click show more, and now that extra one is shown. Nice. And also the button disappears because down here we're only rendering out that button if visible blogs is less than our latest post length. Perfect. So now let's go ahead and do, well, we actually got to finish this. Let's go ahead back over to our blog card. We got to add like our dynamic routes and all of that stuff on here. So inside here, right underneath this div, still inside of the article, so 2 divs down, I have a link, right? And it's gonna be like the same link stuff that we had inside of our hero section. So let's go over here and copy this. Let's copy this href here, copy, get back over to blog cart, So href, make sure you do double brackets and like that. What did I do wrong here? Href. Keep getting these. Let's head back over to Hero. Copy this link. See why this is happening. So head back over to latest post. Blog card. And I'm just gonna copy this like that. Go like that. Okay. I don't know what I did wrong there. Alright, so in here, inside of this link, we're just gonna have AI outline right like that, and we can also have a size, and the size is going to be 30. All right, take a quick look. Don't think you're gonna see it actually, because yep, it was right there. So we gotta make this position absolute. So inside of the link, we're actually gonna have a class name and do position absolute. Do a bottom of 0, do a right of 0, a BG of T, a P5, text white, rounded. So this is gonna be weird. This is my first time ever using this. So we're gonna do a rounded TL dash LG. That's like top left, a Z index of 10, and also a cursor pointer. Like that. All right, take a quick look, and there we go. So once we, nice. All right, and let's just do a quick test. Once we click on this, it should take us to that dynamic route that we got. So nice, perfect. So it should have footprints across, put a title there, perfect. All right, so I believe that is it for our blog card for now. We do have to fix this error up here. But for now, we're gonna come back and fix it. We can just do any like that, just to figure. I just don't like seeing errors. So we're gonna leave it like that for now, but we're gonna come back and definitely fix this before the project is over. So yeah, that's that. And now I say we go ahead and do our top post. Let's head over to our top post. Our top post is gonna be a little bit different. All right, let's go ahead and import blog data. I'm gonna import our image tag from from Next. I'm gonna import link. I'm gonna import our tag. Import tag. And we also import overlay. Overlay. Nice. All right, so same thing. We're just gonna do a cons top post. And that's going to equal to blog data dot filter. And we'll do blog. And we're just going to return all of the blog where top post is equals to true. Blog dot top post equals to true. Like that. All right. We got that, and now we can map through that. First, let's do some styling. Have a section, and this is also going to have an ARIA label by. Well, it's just going to be top posts. That, and have a div. Have a class name of width full, and the text of center. All right, and then we have our h2 where our ID. Going to be top dash post, and then our class name going to be text center, a text 2xl, a font extra bold, uppercase, text T, an inline block, px of 2, and a margin bottom of 10. Right. So inside of the h2 is just going to say top post. Let's take a quick look. Nice. Why is this one bigger? That's weird. Very weird. Let's head over to our latest post and see why this is happening. So we forgot the dash there. There we go. Alright, head back over down to top post. Alright, so we got an h2. We're underneath this div here, where we're gonna map through our top post. So we're gonna do div, last name of flex, h full, flex col, a gap of 12, and an item center. Alright, and here we'll map through our top posts. We're in top post dot map posts. I'm just gonna grab our ID. Actually, index. I think I was supposed to grab index for trying to think. I don't know if I'm thinking of something else. Let's just do index for this one. And we'll see if we got any errors, we can just fix them. So we're gonna have a link. Alright. It's gonna be same href as our other components. So we're gonna head back over here. Latest post. Where I got it. I think it's in our blog card. Sorry, I got confused there for a second. Some of my people yelling outside. Alright. Let's copy this href and I'll paste it in here. Alright, perfect. Alright. We're getting an error. Let's see. Let's just finish and see why we're getting this error. Alright, so we have a link, and then in here have an article, and then for this article our key is going to be our index, like that. Right. I really wonder why I'm getting this error. I don't like errors. Okay, so yeah, we're missing a closing parentheses down here, I believe. There we go. All right, cool. So inside of this article, I'm gonna have a div, and it's gonna have a class name of relative and cursor pointer. So the whole reason why we're not importing our blog card into this one is because our top post is going to take different styling, and it's just going to look totally different. So that's why, plus it's not that much code we have to do in this one. So I'm going to do image. So inside here we're going to have our image component from Next.js, and our source is going to be post.imagePath. Our width is going to be 100. Our height is going to be 800. And then our alt is going to be backticks, image, or $, post.title. Like that. Let's take a quick look, see if it shows up. Nice. Perfect. All right. So now underneath here, we're going to add our overlay as well. That. And we got that nice overlay. All right. So underneath this div, we're going to have another div. And it's going to have a class name of with full, flex, justify center, and a bottom of 0, which I don't even think we need that there. Yeah, let's take this bottom 0 off. I was experimenting with some stuff. And here we're gonna have our tag. And our tag takes a text, which is just going to be post.tags. That. Nice. And then we need our title. So underneath this div, we have a h3 with a class name of text. Do a text of MD. Actually, we don't need that. I think that's default. The font extra bold, uppercase, text T, and then a text center like that. And then in here is going to be our post title. Right. Nice. Perfect. All right. And now we need our author name and publish date, and then we'll be done with this section. So h3. So underneath this div, we have a class name of flex, gap of 3, a justify of center, and a margin top of 2. And in here we're gonna have a span, and a font, the class name of font light. All right. And then in here it's going to be by our post author name. Take a quick look at that. All right, perfect. And then underneath here, underneath this span, I have another span, and this is going to have a class name of italic and font light. It's going to be post publish date. Yeah. Nice. Perfect. So let's click show more. We got more that shows. We got our nice footer. So I believe the home page is done. Now let's make sure dynamic routes work here. Perfect. Nice. So now I say we go ahead and we can either do our post page or our about page. I say we go ahead and do our post page. So let's go ahead and do that. So our post page is just going to be basically it's going to look just like our latest post and top post section, but the only difference is our latest posts, these are just showing our latest posts. We want our post page to show all of our posts. And to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to create another component, and it's just going to be called post with an S and TSX. Just going to export it, and essentially it's going to be basically the same exact thing as our latest post. So we can seriously probably just copy this whole entire thing and just change up a few things. Let's go ahead and copy it and post. Where are we at? Post there. I'm gonna paste it in here. I'm gonna save it. All right, so like I said, we want this to show all of our posts, so we're gonna remove this filter, right? And instead of us mapping through our latest posts, we're gonna just map through the entire blog data. We still want to keep the slice as well. Keep everything the same, and to be honest, that is, I believe, we're it. Just change this to blog data .length, and just like that, we have access to all of our posts now. So let's head over to our app folder, and we're going to create a new folder, and it's going to be called post with an S. All right, and in here we have a page .tsx. Going to export it. Okay. And then in here, we're just going to import our post. Oh, okay. I know what we did. we copied over the code here, so we forgot to change the exports and stuff. So like cons post, and then head down, we gotta change this to post like that. All right, and then head back over to our page here, and then in here we're gonna go ahead and import it. That, and we're also gonna import top post as well. All right, nice. And now we're just gonna have a div with a class name of grid, LG grid cols, LG grid cols 3, LG gap of 10, grid col 1, default, a width of 95%, a max width of 1450 pixels, overflow Y hidden. Forgot to close this bracket there. And we're also going to do an hfit. hfit. A margin top of 10. A max LG of space Y7. Alright, so that's basically just give space on the y-axis to all of the children. And then in here, we're just going to render our post component and our top news component, top post component. Save that. And let's head over to post and take a quick look. Whoa. Alright, so small mistake. These small mistakes, it takes me so long to get. So I put, as you can see, it's supposed to be inside, our route's supposed to be inside of our site, and it's not. So that's why I keep generating this layout. So I kept trying to delete it, and I'm like, what is happening? So if you click on delete, you see how I just, and if I go to the page, if I click on post now, it's gonna see it generated a whole nother layout. And I was wondering why that was happening. So that's all because this is outside of our site folder. So I'm just going to paste that in there. And now we should be able to delete the layout. Okay. And let's give this a refresh. And there we go. Nice. Perfect. All right. As you can see, it's not lined up perfect. For now, we could just add a div around all of this. I believe it should make it look a little better. X, add a div like that. Refresh. Let's actually change the class name. Oh, I know what we forgot. What we did, we forgot to put MX Auto for here, I believe. It's like the magic styling right there. So MX Auto, and it should center. There we go. Perfect. So we got all our posts here. So this is where all of our posts going to render. So it's just going to keep going forever. As many posts as we can. And yep, so that's that. So now I say we work on our dynamic route. So once we click on this, we're going to style up this page. And here we're going to have the actual blog. So let's go ahead and style that up now. All right, so head over to blog/id. And this is where we're going to style up that page. So in here, we already did our types, which is good. Everything is good. So now we just have to write some JSX and just style it up. So let's get rid of this post title. And we're going to keep that div there. But we're going to do another div. And this is going to actually, let's just get rid of this. Let me just scroll down so I know I'm zoomed in. Hopefully this isn't too zoomed in. I might zoom out a little bit. So we're gonna have a div, and it's gonna have a class name of width 95%. We're gonna do an MX of auto, and also our normal max width we've been using, which is a max width of 1450 pixels. All right, and in here we have another div, and it's going to have a class name of width full, height of 400 pixels, 400 pixels. We're going to do position relative, and also a margin bottom of 5. All right, this is going to be our image container, and we're going to be using Next.js image component. Make sure you import that, and it's going to take a few props. So we're going to do fill, all right, and we're going to do alt. It's just going to be we could just do image per blog for now, and then for the source it's going to be post.image path. All right, and scroll down, and we're gonna have a class name of object cover. All right, so let's save that and take a look and see if our image shows up. Nice. So let's head back to home and let's see if this is working. So we head over to this one, and we got that image there, and I'm gonna click on a random one. Let's click on this one, and we got that image there. Nice. So it's working the way we want to. So right underneath this div, we're gonna have our tag component, and our tag, if you guys remember, takes in one prop. We're just gonna do a text, and we can just name this post.tags. Right, and as you can see, we're getting an error. You can just do as string like that. Let's see if this, oh, as string, and then I'll do it like that. Let's see, maybe we can, oh, here we could probably just put an array there and just get rid of this as string. There we go. All right, perfect. So right underneath, let's see if that worked. We got our tag there, and then right underneath this tag we'll have an h2, and this h2 is gonna have a class name of text for Excel, a font of extra bold, uppercase, a text T, and a my of 3, so margin top and bottom. And then here it's gonna be our post.title. Okay. Nice. You can see it's like jumpy because we don't have any content, so it's like jumping with that because our navbar is sticky, so we just need to add some more content here. So we have a div, and underneath this h2 we're gonna have a div, and it's gonna have a class name of flex. Medium screens and up, we're gonna have a gap of 20. On medium screens and below, below medium screens, we're gonna have a gap of 5. A relative, margin top of 10. Medium screens and up, we have a flex row, and then by default on mobile we have a flex col, like that. All right, and in here we're gonna have, and let's see, okay, so we're gonna have a side. Try to be as semantic as I can in this project. We have a side, and this is going to have a class name of medium sticky. All right, and then also, so medium sticky, and let me just make some space here like this. And then on medium screens and up, it's gonna have a top of 2/4, and also on medium screens, it's gonna have a height of screen. All right. One thing that I wish Tailwind add, maybe in a future update, is a way to like chain class names whenever you're like focused on a like a media query or a breakpoint. So for example, I don't want, maybe like it could be something like medium screen sticky, and instead of me typing medium screen again and then medium screen again, I could probably put like a dash top 2/4 dash 8 screen. I think that'd be really cool to do, because I don't know, just it'll prevent, you know, it looking like less cluttered when it comes to these class names. Because I didn't have one component, and no lie, it was like probably like 7 lines of like Tailwind. It was like all the way down here. It was crazy. But yeah, inside of this aside, I have a span. What is that? Oh, I'm not inside of the aside. All right, so inside here I have a span, and this span is going to have a class name of uppercase. All right, and then a text 2XL, a font of extra bold, and a text T. All right, and then in here is going to be share, like that. Let's just take a quick look at that. All right, nice. All right. We got our share, and then underneath this share, we're gonna have, underneath this span, we're gonna have another div, and this is gonna have a class name of flex, text 3XL, flex, text 3XL, a gap of 5, text gray 400, and a margin top of 2. For now, we're gonna add another class name to this, but I want to add these icons first. We're gonna have 3 icons. We're gonna have AI outline Facebook, AI outline Instagram, and AI outline Twitter. Let's go ahead and import those. So head over to the top, and they're all coming from React icons. Let's go ahead and import those, and then down here we can just paste them inside of this div. That. Take a quick look. Nice. All right, so I want each one to have a border. So to save time, a lot of people don't know about this. So you could add a class name to this and just put border on it, or you can try to put border on this, but as you can see, it wraps around the whole entire thing, which doesn't look bad actually. But we're actually going to grab each children, and to do that we're going to do brackets, and then we're going to do the and symbol. So and, if I can find it, and then we're going to do greater than, and we're going to grab all of the children with this little star sign. And now we got all our children, so we can just do a border like that. All right, yeah, look, and now each one has a border. All right. Let's see. All right, perfect. All right, so underneath this aside, we have an article. All right, and in here, this is going to be a p tag with the class name of just text XL. And what I did, I just paste a bunch of posts.paragraph like this. You guys can do that, just so it can have some content under there like that. And as you can see, our share is sticky. So as we scroll, it like kind of sticks down. Let's see if we can fix that a little bit. So this top, let's do a top of 0. See how that look. And the top 0. All right, let's do a top of 1/2. Oh no, it just doesn't look right like that. Top of, let's just do 3 and see what happens. All right, it's not moving with it. That's weird. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna fix that. And we also gotta fix like the padding inside of our nav. You see how like it's not even, doesn't look like it has a, it's not centered. horizontally. Let's see. Top. So sticky. Let's go back to 3/4. I believe that's what we had. I guess we can keep it like that for now. We'll come back and try to fix it. Don't want to waste time on that. All right, so underneath this p tag, have another div. So yeah, anything I miss in this first episode of me building the front end, I will obviously try to fix it next video whenever we add the back end, whenever we actually complete the entire site. So if I miss anything, like something small like this, if I totally forget to come back to this, we'll definitely finish it next video. But I'm gonna try not to forget. So we're gonna do a class name of margin top 5, flex, gap of 5, and an item center. All right, and in here we have another image tag. Gonna be from Next.js, and the props is going to be the source. It's going to be post.author image. Do a width of 500, a height of 500, and the alt is just going to be you can do backticks. You can do image of, you can do $, post.author name, right? And then it's gonna have a class name of rounded full, a width of 20, height of 20, and an object cover like that. All right, let's take a quick look. Okay, so we're getting this little image thing. So whenever you're using any images outside of your project, so if you head over to the data, which is in our constants, our author image is getting fetched from this URL, which is from Unsplash. So whenever you want to do something like this with Next.js, you gotta go to the next config, and here I kind of forgot. Let me just make sure. Let me open it up on my other monitor. I believe you just add like domains. Let me just see if I can remember. Domains, or maybe images, and then I need to do domains, I believe, something like that. Let me just make sure. Next config. Yeah, domains, and then we're gonna add images dot unsplash.com. All right, let's save that. And I'm getting, I thought I was getting an error. So whenever you mess with this config file, you gotta restart your server. So npm run dev. And now let's refresh, and this should work now. Head back over to our component, our page. All right, let's see if this works. See if it shows up here. There we go. Nice. All right. And right underneath this image tag, we're gonna have a div. And this is gonna have a class name, a flex, gap of 1, and a flex cal. All right. And here we're just gonna have 2 spans. The first one's gonna have our author name, post.author name, and then the second one is going to have our post.publish date. All right, take a look. Nice. We have our post page complete. This is going to be all of our posts here, and we got our show more button. Whenever we could just keep clicking show more, and we might add a filter system next video when we add our backend. I'm not sure yet. And then so we need our about page and then our contact page, and then we'll be finished. Let's go ahead and do our about page. All right, so under about, on that. And let me just go and open it up here. Alright, so this page shouldn't take too long. We're gonna do 2 imports. We're gonna import overlay from our components. And we're also gonna import image from Next.js. Alright. What I like doing is changing this to about. Actually, we can just keep the page. It's not that serious. Alright, so let's write some JSX. We're gonna have a div, and it's gonna have our normal class name with 95%. MX auto and max width 14, 50 pixels. Alright, 50 pixels. Alright, and then inside of this div, we're gonna have another div, not a dove, a div, and it's gonna have a class name of relative, a height of 500 pixels, and a width of full. Alright, here we're gonna have our image tag from Next.js. And our source is going to be /assets/about.jpg, and then we're going to do fill for the height and width, and our alt is just going to be about image, and then our class name is going to be object cover. Take a quick look. Underneath here, we're going to add our overlay. Alright, and I made it a little bit darker, and we're gonna have an H1. It's gonna have about us in there, and H1 is going to have a class name of flex, absolute, a width of full, height full, justify center, item center, a text 4XL, a font extra bold, uppercase, and a text white. Alright, just gonna save that. There we go. And then underneath, so underneath this div here, I have another div. Then this is gonna have a class name of leading 8. That's just line height. A text of LG, a BG of white, a margin top of -80 pixels, position relative, a width of 90 pixels, 90%, a M auto, a rounded LG, pattern of 5, shadow XL, text center, and we're gonna do a max MD of, scroll over, this is pretty long. Eesh. Whoa. A max MD of margin top 0, and then a max MD of width full, also a max MD of BG transparent. Last but not least, a max MD of shadow none. This would have been a good case for my chain thing. It probably exists. I probably just don't know. As you can see, our little white bars there. So let's go and add some content in here now. I'm going to scroll back over my other monitor. So in this div, we're gonna have a p tag, and it's gonna have a bunch of lorms. I'm gonna copy, like, you just type in whatever you want. I just typed in some lorm here and paste, and there we go. Got some lorm. Let's see, something's up. Width of 90%. Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be this this big. Let's see, max MD with full let's change this to like 80%, see what happens. Alright, that didn't work. Go back to 90. Lead in 8, text LL, BG white, relative, with 90%, M auto, round to LG, padding 5, shadow XL, text center, max MD. Okay, so max MD, margin top of 0, and a max MD of width full, max MD BG transparent. Huh, that's weird. Alright, another thing we're gonna come back and fix here in a second. We're actually gonna come back and fix that here in a second, but let's just go ahead and finish. I'm gonna do a div, and I have a class name with full, item center, flex, and justify center. Right. And in here we're gonna have our image. Alright, and the source is going to be slash assets slash signature .png. And the width is going to be 500, height is going to be 500, and the alt is just going to be signature. Like that. Okay, let me just see. Yeah, it's showing like the whole width for it. So let's see, let's try to debug this. Alright, so small mistake, I forgot to add a space between width 90% and M auto, and I honestly think that happened up here as well, where I probably forgot to add a space between these two, because I'm zoomed all the way in, and it's kind of hard to tell. So let me just make sure, let me just hit back and click save, as you can see, and then once I head over here to the right and click space, that's when now it's showing that width 90%. That's what we want, and that consists of our about page. Let's head over to our contact page, go ahead and create that. So let me just close out everything. We can start off fresh here, and we're gonna make a folder inside of our app. Close out everything, and so the site, we're gonna create another folder, and it's going to be called contact. All right, and we have a page in here, TSX. All right, cool. Let me go ahead and open it up here. All right, so this is pretty long. All right, so we're gonna make 4 inputs. Actually 3 for now. We're gonna import image from Next. We're going to import overlay from our components. Then we're going to also import button. All right, so that's it for now, and let's go ahead and export this. You can see our changes, and then once we click on contact, now we should be presented with page. Nice. And let's go ahead and write some JSX. So we're gonna have a div, and inside of this div, have another div with a class name of relative, a height of 500 pixels, and width of full. And in here we have our image tag, and the source is going to be slash assets slash contact dot jpg. All right, we're gonna get an error because we don't got a height and a width, but we're just gonna use fill for now. and then the alt is going to be contact image, and then the class name is going to be object cover. Let's see what object center is. Oh, you don't want that. Can I do object center and object cover? I just want to see. Alright, I want to see something right quick. Never use object center. And I'm going to head over to this. Okay. I didn't do what I wanted to do. I thought it would do what I thought it was going to do, but it didn't. Alright, so object cover. And then we're going to add our overlay as well. Overlay. Alright. And then underneath this overlay, we're going to have a H1. Alright, so we can actually head over to our about page and just copy over this H1 here, because it's going to be the same exact styling. Just go and copy that, and we're going to paste it for this H1 here. Alright, and then we'll just change this to contact us. Like that. Give that a save, and we should see it there. Nice. Alright, so now it's time to start our form. So underneath this div here, I have another div, and it's gonna have a class name of padding 10, a leading of 8, leading 8. Oh. I can spell leading right, sorry. Leading 8. Text LG. We're gonna have margin top of 10, position relative, a margin of auto. Actually, I don't even think we need this here. Actually, yeah, let's do it. And do a rounded of LG. And we're also gonna do a text center. Alright, and we're just gonna take a quick look and see what that's about. Okay, we might come back and switch up that styling. I think I was playing around with something and I forgot to take off the styling. We're gonna have H1, and this is gonna have a class name of text 4XL, a font of extra bold. We're gonna do a width of full, a text center, uppercase, a text primary, and a margin bottom of 10. Alright, and in here it's just gonna say let's discuss. Alright, take a quick look. Nice. Alright, so now it's time for our form. Scroll down some, and we have a form. Get rid of this. Alright, and in here we have a div. It's gonna have a class name of flex, gap of 5, and on max small, we want it to be flex Kyle. Alright, and we have 2 inputs in here, so we could just make one and probably just copy over the next. Let me just make some space here, like that. Alright, so type's gonna be text. The placeholder for this one is gonna be name. And a class name is going to be border 0, a px of 1, py of 3. Actually, let's not put border 0 right there, because I think that was the bug that was happening. We're gonna have a border gray 300. Now with the full, a rounded MD, a text gray 900, a shadow small. I'm gonna have a ring 1, a ring gray 300, ring gray 300, and now we're gonna edit, add some styling to our placeholder. Let me just scroll over because there's a bunch of styling. Alright, so ring gray 300, we have a placeholder of text gray 400. Why is it not auto completing when I do that? All right, text grade 400 for the placeholder, and we're gonna do a focus, and that is going. Let me make sure I add my space there. I'm gonna do a focus, and this is going to be ring 2, and then we're also gonna do another focus, and this is going to be ring primary, and last but not least, we're gonna do an outline of none. All right, so let's take a look at that. And nice, once we click, we got that nice that ring primary once it's focused. Perfect. All right, now what we can do, because it's the same exact styling for each one, what we can do is just probably just copy this. Let me just zoom out some. Hopefully this isn't too small. I just like being zoomed in so you guys can see it. So I'm going to copy that because this is a huge monitor. So, and I'm going to paste another one there. Take a look, and now we got 2 of them there. So we just got to change this one up. This is going to be type, and it's going to be email, and the placeholder is going to be email. All right, nice. And now what we can do is actually copy this whole entire div here, because I want 2 more inputs, and I want the same exact thing. I'm gonna do copy, and I'm gonna paste it again. Let's give that a save. And we got them here. Let's see. All right, so we gotta add some styling to our form tag. Let's do a class name of flex col, with the full, and then we also do a gap of 5, so we can have some space between these two. Nice. All right, so let's head down to this one, and this next one is going to be subject. I'm gonna do subject like that, type text, and then this one here is going to be a phone number. I guess we could just do type. Wait, can I do like type tel? I never actually. Let's see. Input types. Let's actually look this up together. Just want to make sure. Alright, so we got type button, type password, type number. Okay, so let's do type number. Type number, and then this is going to be phone. Like that. Alright. Let's just make sure type phone. Oh, type tel. Maybe we should do type tel. I think that's like telephone, right? Alright, let's take a look at it. Okay, I mean, I don't think it'll make a difference. All right, so we got phone, and now we need our text area. So right underneath this div here, I have a text area. All right. And you can make it a self-closing tag, or you don't have to, but it can be. It's gonna be name. It's going to be message. It doesn't need an ID or anything. Placeholder is going to be message, and then rows going to be 8. Take a quick look. All right, nice. And now we need that styling. So we could just copy over this styling for the class name to class name, and then copy over that, paste it there, and there we go. We got us a nice looking form. Perfect. Now we need our button. So right underneath this text area, have a div, and then we're gonna have a class name of flex, justify center, and in here have our button component. I don't know if we already imported it. I think we did. Button. And our aria going to be submit contact form, and then the text is going to be submit that. All right. Okay, we're getting an error on click. We don't need an on click, so let's head over to our button component and make on click optional. We don't need an on click right now. then hit back over to our contact, and now it should be removed. And we got our contact button. So we are going to add a map to this, and you guys can head over to, I forgot what I typed in. Let's take a quick look. I think I typed in like HTML map generator, something like that, and Google. So here we go, Google iframe map generator, and you guys could just put in like your business name. I just did Explore X, and you can do the height if you want. I believe, let's take a look at mine. So inside of the map, let me go ahead and open it up. So inside of components, and then UI map, that's where it's going to go. So yeah, I just did a height of 300, so just change this to 300. Right. And make sure the width is 100% because we wanted to take up the whole entire width. And I just put a random address in the city that I live in. You don't want to, obviously don't put your address. So to do this, we're going to make a map component. You can do it inside of the UI map.tsx, and we're going to export it. Right. And on here you're going to be presented with this code right here. You just basically just want to copy this code, and that's it, and just paste it inside of here. So I'm going to copy the one that I did so you guys can see it. So this is the one that I did. I believe the one that comes with theirs, you got to like remove some stuff or it won't work. So let me just actually just paste it right underneath here. As you can see, it comes with let me just add a fragment so it can format. Add a fragment under here. All right, as you can see, it comes with frame border, so you don't need that, so you can get rid of that. You don't need scrolling, you don't need margin height or any of that. All you need is your width and height and your source. That's all you need. Oh, also the A tag right here, you don't need that as well. So just get rid of those, and then it should be good. And then you obviously want to change the style because we're using React. So all you have to do is just get rid of the quotes, and then do 2 brackets width, and then put the 100% in quotes like that. So it's really simple. I'm gonna get rid of this. Go and save it. We get our map, and I'm gonna head over to our contact page. Go ahead and close this. And right underneath, so not that div, so we want it to be right inside of this div here. Hold on, I think we did something. Oh no, inside of this div. So right underneath here is where we want to render out our map. And components, like that. Take a look, and there we go. We got our map, just like that. Perfect, and it's interactive. You can either get directions. So perfect. So we're done our contact page. Let's go ahead and try to fix this Navbar right quick because it's bothering me. All right, so to fix this, it seems like what we're gonna do, because it's just padding bottom that's causing this, but we need the padding bottom for this border, little border that we got, a little separator. So what I say we do is we get rid of this padding bottom here like that, and as you can see, it looks good, but we still need it here. So what we can just do is the power of CLSX. That's why I like it. So you could just do, if it's not scrolling, if it's not is scrolling, we can just add the class, the padding bottom 5. As you can see, it's there, but once we start scrolling, it goes away. Perfect. All right, so that is fixed. Let me just go over everything. So we got our contact, and to be honest, I think we're finished. If I missed over anything, like I said, we're going to be adding a back into this. So, but for now, the front end is complete. And next video, maybe a few days from now, We'll be adding a backend. We're gonna add authentication with NextAuth. We'll be using MongoDB database. We'll be using Prisma. So yeah, we'll be adding authentication, and then we'll have a user menu to where we can, once you're signed in, you click here, you can create your post, and then create a post. And then once you create the post, it'll be added to these posts as well. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna most likely keep the data that we have now, just so that we wouldn't have to go in and just write a bunch of blog posts and make each one featured. So what we'll do is keep the blog data that we got now, and then we'll just add a backend to it and give the user the ability to add more posts. And yeah, so tune into that video. I will see you guys next video. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.